F-35Bs roared as they broke through the cloud ceiling, their EOT targeting systems locking onto enemy signatures below. In seconds, a GBU-53 small-diameter bomb sliced through the sky, striking with surgical precision and splitting the command boat in half. Chaos erupted on the water. Seahawk helicopters descended through the smoke, rotor blades thundering, and disgorged Navy SEAL teams onto decks consumed by fire. Below the surface, SWCC combat boats carved violent paths through the waves, their mounted weapons unleashing relentless streams of fire on enemy strongpoints. What was once a logistical hub, camouflaged as nothing more than an onshore refueling depot, was obliterated in under 6 minutes. Radar arrays, command systems, weapons stockpiles, reduced to smoldering ash. Because when you tamper with the United States Navy's supply chain, you do not merely strike a ship. You ignite the wrath of a superpower engineered for one response. Total elimination from the first detected coordinate. And this was only the beginning. The next phase would not be a counterattack. It would be a hunt. A global manhunt to dismantle the entire network that dared attempt the largest military vessel heist of the decade. It began with an unexpected ambush from savage pirates. June 13, 2025, Gulf of Aden, 140 nautical miles off the Somali coast. The sea lay deceptively calm, glassy under the pale morning sun. The USNS Alan Shepard, a Lewis and Clark-class replenishment vessel, drifted quietly along its maritime route. To the untrained eye, it resembled nothing more than a weary civilian cargo hauler. Its faded gray hull bore rust along the seams. Its antennas sagged from age, and its containers seemed stacked with little care. But appearances lied. Beneath every square meter of steel was strategic gold. Deep within her decks, 3 massive JP-5 fuel tanks slumbered. Fuel meant exclusively for the F-35Bs stationed aboard the USS Boxer. Stored alongside was something far more dangerous, a batch of AGM-176 Griffin tactical missiles, compact, lightweight, yet powerful enough to level an entire radar complex. And sealed in reinforced crates was something priceless, an advanced electro-optical module, a bleeding-edge targeting system designed for 5th-generation fighters. It was so new that it had never once left American soil. The ship's crew numbered only 18, 12 sailors and 6 civilian technicians. But hidden among them were 3 men unlike the rest. Retired Navy SEALs, their presence concealed under the guise of maintenance staff. They bore no insignia, no outward sign of authority. Their mission was singular: ensure the cargo reached its destination, no matter the cost. At 07:03 hours, faint blips began to appear on radar. At first 3, then 5, then 8. Within moments, the screen bloomed with 21 separate contacts, each advancing at speeds exceeding 45 knots. They approached from 3 directions, north, east, and southwest, executing a perfect pincer maneuver. The alarm klaxons shrieked across the vessel, shattering the stillness. And then the threat emerged. From the horizon, sleek black twin-engine speedboats appeared, no more than 10 meters in length. Each mounted a PKM machine gun welded to its bow. Each carried 6 to 8 men, clad in desert fatigues with faces concealed by cloth wraps. Sunlight caught the glint of their weapons: RPG launchers, Kalashnikov rifles, bandoliers of ammunition, knives, bayonets. Captain David R. Clay, retired Navy Lieutenant Commander, stood on the bridge. He had seen worse. Clay had survived Fallujah's, infernos in 2004, and an IED ambush in Ramadi. He knew the look of death when it came. "Prepare for battle," he ordered with quiet finality. "Lock down the central hatch. Alert Level 3. 3 minutes later, the Alan Shepard was surrounded. The pirate boat split into 3 coordinated teams, one closing on the starboard side, another cutting across the bow, the third pressing hard against the stern. Above, the skies remained empty. This would be no aerial strike. This was an intimate assault, planned and executed with chilling precision. The first PKM bursts raked across the bridge. Shattered glass exploded inward. A technician fell, his blood staining the deck crimson. Seconds later, an RPG streaked from boat number 3, detonating against the aft communications station. The blast rocked the ship, fire and smoke billowing into the air. Within 4 minutes, grappling hooks clanged against the hull. Pirates scrambled up the lines, 5 boarding the vessel before the defenders could mount a proper response. From beneath stacked containers, the embedded seals struck. Sig Sauer P226 pistols cracked, dropping 2 intruders before suppressive fire forced the Americans back. Each attempt to counterattack was met with storms of gunfire, steel rain that shredded crates and ricocheted across decks. Clay recognized the inevitable. They were outnumbered, outgunned, but not out of options. Hidden inside the ship's communication, black box was his final recourse. Stealth code red. Reserved for situations beyond control, it was a silent, encrypted distress beacon. Clay pressed his thumb against the concealed sensor. He held it for 5 seconds. A green light flickered. Instantly, a 128-bit encrypted burst shot into the sky, relayed via satellite to the USS Boxer and task force units operating 190 nautical miles north in the Arabian Sea. Within 60 seconds, power died across the auxiliary bridge. Darkness swallowed the compartments. On deck, the battle ended in defeat. The crew was subdued, bound with zip ties, their mouths gagged. Pirates stomped through the vessel unchecked. A young technician was hurled overboard. Another was bludgeoned into unconsciousness. Their captors laughed, their voices echoing across the captured ship. One pirate seized the public frequency radio and barked in Arabic, "We have taken the American supply vessel. Prepare for ransom demands." They did not realize the truth. They had not merely hijacked a ship. They had severed the lifeline of an entire strike group, and in doing so, they had placed a target on their own backs, because in that moment, they had become the prey of the United States Navy. June 13th, 2025. Always 10 hours. Arabian Sea. The hunt had already begun. USS Boxer Task Force. Combat Information Center, USS Boxer, LHD-4. The lights shifted instantly to crimson. A harsh alarm pulsed through the CIC, short, urgent bursts. A code red, Level 1. On the Central. Tactical display, 2 blinking coordinates cut through the darkness. 11°48, north. E582 Kostig 55, east. The location of the USNS Alan Shepard. Rear Admiral Lawrence Briggs did not flinch, his eyes fixed on the 3-dimensional digital map. The Alan Shepard was adrift, slowly edging toward the Somali coastline. Inside its hull sat 3 JP-5 aviation fuel tanks, critical F-35B targeting modules, and more than 30 Griffin tactical missiles, an arsenal too valuable to risk capture. Briggs spoke without hesitation. His voice was sharp, final. Deploy Trident Echo. All emergency response forces to battle positions. Anyone holding an American ship will not live to surrender it. The order rippled outward like an electric charge. Within moments, the full combat machine of the USS Boxer Strike Group came alive. On the carrier's upper deck, crews scrambled to bring up 4 F-35B Lightning IIs from the Green Knights Squadron, VMFA-21. These were no ordinary jets. They were the only 5th-generation stealth fighters capable of vertical takeoff and landing. Their loadouts gleamed with lethal precision, ASA radar arrays for wide-spectrum tracking, EOTS targeting pods for pinpoint, Orn strikes. 2 GBU-53B small-diameter bombs per jet, penetrating, precision-guided, designed to vaporize hardened targets. A single AIM-9X Sidewinder pod for close-range dogfighting. Link 16 data link integration, feeding live updates between UAVs, AWACS, destroyers, and command stations. Behind the F-35s, 10 MH-60R Seahawk helicopters were rolled into position, their rotors already humming. They formed into a sharp arrowhead configuration. Each helicopter carried 30 operators, Navy SEAL Team 5, Marine Raiders, and a dedicated electronic warfare unit. Nearly 300 elite troops divided into 4 insertion elements, prepared to board from the deck, breach from the stern, fast rope from the cockpit roof, or rappel from cables rigged beneath the ship's belly. Overhead, an E-2D Advanced Hawkeye lifted off from the USS Somerset. Its 360-degree APY-9 radar swept across the horizon, capable of orchestrating massive-scale air engagements. The Hawkeye fed encrypted data to every Allied unit, air, sea, and subsurface. At lower altitude, 6 MQ-8C Fire Scout drones skimmed just above the waterline, having launched from the destroyer USS Chung-Hoon, DDG-93. They weaved through the waves like predators, their LiDAR and infrared optics mapping every machine gun, nest, RPG launcher, and motherboat lashed alongside the Alan Shepard. Their data streamed directly into the task force's tactical net. And higher still, nearly invisible at 40,000 feet, an MQ-9B Reaper, nicknamed the Angel of Death, soared above the theater. Deployed from Djibouti, it carried an AN-4 multi-spectral targeting system that did more than see. It eavesdropped, intercepting pirate chatter in Arabic, Somali, and even clipped Russian phrases, snippets of coordination that suggested foreign backing. Oro 7 went 28 hours, inside a Seahawk troop compartment. The cabin was dim, filled only with the glow of wrist-mounted mission tablets. The masked operators of SEAL Team 5 strapped into harnesses and double-checked weapons in silence. Each device displayed personal insertion points, attack vectors, control objectives, and, grimly, estimated survival times should they be separated from their squad. Not a word was spoken. The silence was steel. Meanwhile, on the USS Somerset, 3 SWCC Special Warfare Combatant Craft crewmen. Boats dropped into the water. Each craft, armed to the teeth, carried teams trained in maritime interdiction, masters of close-quarters boarding. Their mission: destroy the pirate motherboats, neutralize outer deck resistance, and clear paths for the helicopter insertions. On the tactical map, triangular icons representing U.S. forces began converging on the same set of coordinates. A three-dimensional wireframe of the Alan Shepard rotated slowly on the screen. Its compartments glowed in red: bridge, weapons bay, engineering spaces. Inside, yellow dots pulsed, each one a pirate tagged by thermal imaging. A digital timer counted down mercilessly. 16 minutes, 45 seconds. That was all the time left before the Alan Shepard crossed into Somali territorial waters. Once there, the fight would shift into urban warfare under restrictive engagement rules. The United States could not allow that to happen. Arabian Sea, June 13, 2025. The pirates believed they had won. The crew of the Alan Shepard lay zip-tied and gagged. The ship, now under their control, turned toward the Somali coast, bound for Ras Haifoun. Once nothing but a crumbling fishing village, Ras Haifoun had transformed into a fortified pirate enclave. The hijackers jeered, passing cigarettes, laughing as if they were sailing home with a cargo of gold. Above the clouds, 2 F-35B Lightning IIs stalked silently, their sensor suites locked onto every heat signature aboard the Alan Shepard. The Ethiots captured vivid images: pirates with sweat-soaked shirts, their hands gripping rusted rifle stocks, eyes squinting against the sun, completely unaware they were already marked for death by a trillion-dollar war machine. The first GBU-53B fell without warning, It cut through the air like a thunderbolt. The explosion tore the Shepherd's forward deck apart. 3 PKM machine gun nests were obliterated. 2 pirates vanished in the blast, their bodies twisted beyond recognition. That was America's opening statement. To starboard, metallic reflections shimmered across the waves. Pirate escort vessels, converted fishing trawlers 30 meters long with peeling paint and jury-rigged DHK-12. 7mm heavy machine guns lurched into position. These boats were crewed but armed, and they were the hijackers' escape plan. Their radios crackled, shouting orders in panic. The second F-35B dipped its nose, its semi-autonomous fire control system already prioritizing targets. Crosshairs lit up across the pirate fleet as the jet screamed downward. The hunt had begun. Arabian Sea, assault on pirate escort fleet. A target marker glowed on the tactical screen. On the waves below, the first pirate escort vessel was lit up in the F-35's crosshairs. A GBU-53B fell from the sky with mechanical certainty, striking the deck in the exact center line. The explosion tore reality apart. Water and fire surged upward in unison, stretching the sea into a boiling crater. Shards of wood, steel plating, and dismembered bodies spiraled through the air before vanishing into the waves. The second escort boat attempted to retreat, engines screaming as it veered away, but orbiting high above, the MQ-9B Reaper was already in position. A single AGM-114 Hellfire dropped from its wing, streaking toward the fleeing craft. The missile punched through the hull into the engine compartment before detonating inside the fuel tanks. The blast ripped the vessel apart, splitting it into 2 burning halves that sank beneath the surface. The last escort boat swung wide, trying desperately to escape. That was when 3 SWCC high-speed combat craft crested the waves from the opposite direction. Mounted M2 Browning, 50 caliber machine guns thundered from their bows. The pirate boat's command cabin disintegrated under a hail of heavy rounds. Survivors leapt overboard in panic, thrashing in the water as their vessel sank into the whirlpool created by its own dying propellers. The sea turned black with ash and fire. Deck of the USNS Alan Shepard. From 10 directions, Seahawk helicopters swept in, rotors chopping the smoke-filled air, ropes uncoiled, dropping like spiderwebs across the deck. Navy SEAL Team 5 descended fast, M4A1 carbines raised, weapons hot before their boots even hit steel. From the stern, more SEALs surged through container stacks, smoke grenades blooming into thick white plumes. Muffled bursts from suppressed pistols cracked through the haze, mingling with shouts in Somali Arabic. One pirate bolted from the bridge, diving for the rail to swim away. A 56mm round caught him mid-stride, snapping his shoulder and slamming him to the deck like a discarded sandbag. On the port side, Marine raiders cut through steel with breaching torches, forcing open the engine room doors. They advanced in tight formation, step by step, every round placed with surgical precision. A pirate fumbling with a fuse on a Griffin missile crate never had the chance. An American round ended him before his fingers brushed the wire. In minutes, the entire Alan Shepard was secure. Smoke still drifted from bullet-scarred bulkheads, but the deck was once again under American control. 5 hostages were pulled from captivity. 1 sailor had broken ribs. 2 others bore bruises from beatings, but all 18 were alive. Not one American operator had been lost. The first order crackled through the ship's reclaimed intercom. Hold position. Shift attack to the mainland. Target 9 nautical miles east. Ras Haifun Pirate Base, Somali coast overhead, the MQ-9B Reaper circled. Its multispectral camera